What's going on, YouTube? My gold stacking strategy has changed. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you how I'm going to do it. For a long time I stacked fractional gold. And this is in no way to discourage anybody from doing that. I think it's fantastic. But my ideas have changed. About a year ago, I went into the LCS and asked him what kind of fractional gold he had, and he knew that I am, let's say, silver heavy. And he asked me, he says, why are you asking about fractional gold and not 1 ounce or maybe ½ ounce? And I said, well, for barterability, should that happen. And he looked at me. Oh, I picked these up today too. 30 dimes. There's actually 31 in here to fill up a tube. And he looked at me and he pointed to some dimes I'd been purchasing and some coins and rounds of silver. And he said, well, isn't that what you're doing with this? And the more I think about it, the more I agree. The reason there's 31 dimes in here is I actually found a 1959 Rosie when I was counting a till out. So when I counted that till out at work, I, of course, put a clad dime in its place and brought the Rosie home with me. Any of you who've watched me probably by now know that partial tubes drive me insane. And don't worry, this extra dime is not going to start an extra tube. I can either put that in a tube, or I can put it in the bag of stuff I have found over the years counting tills, which is what I'm going to do. Anyway, back to the gold and how I'm going to do it. I am only going to stack. I have to buy another 1/4 ounce because I have an oddball amount of gold now. I did trade my fractional in for this 1 ounce kangaroo. And a lot of people, well, some people have said, well, you shouldn't have done that because you're going to lose on the premiums. Look, gold has gone up since I've started buying it. I'm not worried about that. And there's a method to my madness. We all have to do what works for us. And this is why I'm doing this. I did a straight across trade. I traded 5 1/10 ounce and 2 ½ ounce or 2/4 ounce. I think they were all Philharmonic, to be honest with you, for the kangaroo 1 ounce. And the reason I did that is because I am silver heavy enough that if I ever have to barter, I have plenty of 90%, plenty of 40%, plenty of 1 ounce pieces, 10 ounce pieces, what have you. So if I need to barter, I can do that with silver. The reason I'm stepping up to 1 ounce gold and ½ ounce is the smallest I want to purchase after I get that other 1/4 ounce to even out my weight is because gold is so expensive, and I want to use it solely as a store of value, and that means I need to get it as cheap as possible. So I'm going to cut back on the premiums by buying 1 ounce or ½ ounce as the smallest denomination after I get that next 1/4 ounce piece to even out my stack. Now, that's not to say if you're in a different situation where you need to stack a gram at a time or a 1/20th of an ounce or a 1/10th of an ounce at a time, then that's wrong. That's not to say that. It all has its place. Me personally, I would save up the cash to buy more than a gram or a 1/20th of an ounce. I really would try to not go below a 1/4 ounce or a 1/10 ounce. That's just my opinion, not a financial advisor. Do your own research, form your own opinions. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing my opinions, my experience with you. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to slow down on my silver a little bit, which pains me to say because I do believe silver is a far more useful metal to humankind, and I definitely prefer it. But I do like gold. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to put half in the safe and half in a bank that pays me, I think it's up to 3.8% now. The reason I'm going to do that is because storing cash, if it's not doing anything, if it's not going out and making me more cash, it's a losing asset. But it's also important to have. So I'm going to split my cash in the bank and in the safe. And I want it working for me. Now, the reason I'm keeping half in the safe and not all of it in the bank is because I'm a stacker. I don't want all my assets in an entity that I don't fully trust. And I certainly don't want a lot of assets in an electronic form where it's vulnerable to government knowledge. You know, the less the government knows I have, the better. It's kind of like that last video, or second to last video, where I talked about pour on paper. I really believe in that. The less they think that you have, the less they can take from you, the less they expect from you. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to probably buy that 1/4 ounce piece very soon, and then move on to 1/2 and 1 ounce pieces. What I'll probably do is I'll probably buy that 1/4 ounce, because I have an odd amount of gold without it. And then I think I'll buy a 1/2 ounce, and then after that I think I'll move on to full ounce pieces at a time. That's my strategy at this point. Again, I have so much silver, I can always use that for barterability, and I have different, fractions of silver, all the way from dimes to 100-ounce bars. So I have a lot of options with silver. That's my strategy. That's not to say your way is wrong. My way is right, your way is wrong, your way is wrong, my way is right. My way is wrong, your way is right. It's not to say any of that. It's just to say that I have changed my strategy a bit to dollar cost average my stack the best way possible for me. You got to do what's right for you, what's in your means to do. But as long as you're doing it, you're winning. If you're stacking, you're winning, in my opinion. Constitutional Stacker, we have reached 520 subs at the filming of this video. That's phenomenal. If you are not on that list, please, please, please do me the favor of hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what your stacking strategy is for silver, gold, whatever you're doing. Let's get a conversation going. Let's engage. Constitutional Stacker coming at you. Keep stacking.